It's official. Congress has certified the 2024 election. There were no hiccups, no aliens, no protests, no hurricanes, nothing. No Tesla truck fires, no drones, no bird flu. There was, however, Nancy Pelosi. Pelosi was spotted on the floor of Congress as they were certifying the election with a walker. I'm not going to make fun of Nancy Pelosi. She's, I don't even know, 80 something. I'm not going to say anything about that, okay? But if this isn't an iconic photo that sums up the majority of our Congress, I don't know what is. But also come out here and start screaming about term limits and how we need term limits now for people in Congress. But as it sits right now, it would fall on deaf ears. Hopefully that changes. I know there's been a lot of talk about it changing and possibly implementing with this new administration, and people are like, there already are term limits, you can vote. Well, yeah, you can, but really, maybe that's ageism, okay, and probably is, but realistically, you should not be making big decisions about big laws that are going to impact the masses in your country if you might not be alive to see those laws go into effect anyway. I mean, that's a huge problem. Look at Ruth Bader Ginsburg. The day before she died, or the 2 days before she died, for the second time, okay? She was on the floor casting her vote. She wasn't even going to be alive to see that vote be implemented. It was so ridiculous. It's still ridiculous. People that are making these big and drastic changes when it comes to your everyday life are not going to live long enough to see those changes. They're not going to be affected by it. And I think that is the most frustrating thing. Ageism be damned. Okay, you shouldn't be doing it. You shouldn't be.
Yes, it is official. I believe you heard her say it. I have a couple of videos. I'm going to show you some election win has been certified by Kamala. But there is something extremely concerning. Like you saw, Nancy Pelosi is now moving like this. I don't want to even go deep into that. Sunny Hostin did something comparing January 6 to World War II. She is going viral on social media. A lot of people are touching her like never before. According to this tweet, Scott exaggerate the View Sunny Hostin comment compared January 6, 2021 to the Holocaust. Already today, we have heard some people say extraordinarily unhinged and veil things compared J6 to the Holocaust to slavery. CNN had a segment, what this man said, partaken to this lady, draw my attention. It is important. I show you what he said.
In light of all the rhetoric and things we're going to hear people say today, is that ultimately it was the American people that got to decide ultimately how we feel collectively as a country about January the 6th. And already today, we have heard some people in other venues say extraordinarily unhinged and vile things, comparing January 6th to the Holocaust, to slavery, to World War II. I think we need to arrange our feelings and control ourselves accordingly here and not go off the deep end. It was not a good day. Political violence cannot be condoned, but we can also be measured in how we view it in light of the rest of American and world history. What's happening today is ultimately a good thing because both parties, for the first time in my adult life, are accepting the results of an election. And that is ultimately putting this country on the right tracks. I just think people ought to really take stock of our feelings and not get out over our skis too much today and minimizing other world events.
Honestly, when I look at people still talking about January 6th, concerning. Looking at polls conducted on CNN recently, I think 2 days ago, majority of people in America don't even believe in that. They don't even care about it. Democrats saw that during the elections. That was a song they put out and it didn't even bother people. They had moved on. But they continue to sing that today Kamala had no choice. She had to do this. That's just the truth because there was nothing to even dispute about the elections. Going back to 2020, there were a lot of issues, though it came out like, let me not even go into that. That is not our focus.
What do we do? I think we need to find moral clarity, you know, in this country. And I just remember after January 6th, you had someone like Mitch McConnell placing the blame on January 6th where it belonged, squarely on Donald Trump's shoulders. And then you started seeing people backtrack that and losing their moral center. You had Condoleezza Rice, I believe, on this very show saying, you know, we need to move on from January 6th. I say no. You don't move on, because January 6th was an atrocity. It was one of the worst moments in American history. And when you think about the worst moments in American history, you know, like World War II, things that happened, you know, like the Holocaust, chattel slavery, we need to never forget, because past becomes prologue if you forget any race.
Well, that's how we remember the day now. The question is, will history remember it that way 4 or 40 years from now? Congressman Kinzinger, you were in the House. You actually tweeted at 4:30 p.m. 4 years ago on this day. You tweeted, "This is a coup attempt."
Yes, I really wish if these people could actually reason and see the truth, because bombshell information actually came out that Nancy Pelosi played a role. She actually rejected to do some things which I'm not even going into, but these people don't care about the facts. They have to take this all through. You heard Sunny Hostin comparing this to slavery, Holocaust.
Well, that's how we remember the day now. The question is, will history remember it that way 4 or 40 years from now? Congressman Kinzinger, you were in the House. You actually tweeted at 4:30 p.m. 4 years ago on this day. You tweeted, "This is a coup attempt." Do you think that history will remember this the way it actually happened?
Yeah, I do. Look, we're in this emotion. You know, Donald Trump got defeated. He convinced. I mean, look, he convinced his base that that election was stolen from him, and that for 4 years built this like intense anger where they truly believed this deep state, you know, garbage was happening. He's going to be president now for 4 years. He's going to own everything that happens in the economy, everything that happens in the world. And that, like, excitement that, like, we've been robbed will wear off. And history has this amazing ability to accurately reflect the happenings of that day. And so while maybe today it's kind of surreal that we're here 4 years later after that and putting Donald Trump back in the presidency, history will not be kind to him. And I'm glad you brought up my tweet, because I actually had this ready to go. Speaker Johnson tweeted this on January 6, 2021. "I unambiguously condemn in the strongest possible terms any and all forms of violent protest. Any individual who committed violence today should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law." It goes on for a whole other thing. And now that's going to be a question when Donald Trump gets into office and decides, does he want to prosecute the people that looked into what happened on January 6th and embarrassed him? And does he want to pardon the people that actually did what Speaker Johnson just 4 years ago said they should be prosecuted?
Abby,
I really wish this energy this man is using to talk about this January 6th, Trump will pardon them. He should use that same energy to condemn Biden. We saw the people he recently pardoned, criminals, offenders. In fact, I don't want to name them. We saw that. If this guy is coming to tell me, Trump will do this, Trump should be able to take his decision. You know, looking at this man, sometimes I really wonder. I have not seen anywhere Trump is even mentioning this guy's name. Like you want to go after him. Trying to play strong. If Trump want to come after me, this is what I would do. It is ridiculous. There is nothing he would do. Liz Cheney's name came out and information that she colluded. I believe that's one person I've seen. You know, Trump even talking about her, not this guy. He is struggling to look, for relevancy.
That half the nation not okay with that. The debate continues in full.
Brad, is it time for Donald Trump to apologize for what took place 4 years ago?
I wouldn't expect Donald Trump would apologize. I think nor do I expect Democrats to apologize for trying to undo his presidency by all legal and extra legal means after that.
Come on, Brad. Come on.
No, Jim, look at our own polling. Look at CNN's own exit polling. Voters who said they voted on democracy were evenly split between Democrats and Republicans. January 6th was a dark day in the history of our country. Donald Trump bears a lot of responsibility for that. It's something that should stain his legacy forever. However, voters, they punished him for it. That's why he was behind Ron DeSantis by 20 points until Alvin Bragg indicted him. And once voters decided that Democrats were determined to prevent Donald Trump from being elected by any extra legal means, they decided maybe this wasn't as clear.
I mean, shouldn't your party have just rejected him, just flat out rejected him, from Kevin McCarthy to Mitch McConnell to the whole lot of them? How could your party let him be the nominee again? Isn't that the question?
Watch what Kevin McCarthy and Mitch McConnell said in the aftermath of that. They absolutely did condemn him. Mitch McConnell was still condemning him months afterward on the floor.
I usually say this on all my videos. If you see clips behind this, it is just for algorithm. Please, you can skip. You must not watch that.
And he sold himself out for $1.
2024 election fried our brains.
It's less on who is woke and more on who is broke.
I've never seen that.
I saw so many liberals getting super excited.
Oh, is it true that they paid you $1 million?
I want you to know what would change after doing this.
Comes out against Trump.
I don't care if they write that.
So, with that, I'm going to shake it off.
Figure out a way to say thank you.
That guy's name, he's such an absolute prick. I can't stand him. But anyway,
Hey there. You're not doing great.
Terrible night last night. It was a terrible night.
What will the rest of us be doing on day one?
Bishop Vigano, he says
If I look at the big picture, it doesn't look good. So I'm going to work on this.
No matter what's going on out there in the world, of course, the worst things could happen.
So we fell short.
One often hears of the sort of George Soros bogeyman, but
The United States as a whole.
This shows me is the weakness of Donald Trump.
That is unequivocally
These
race into a complete